Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today. It is ModelcarNick showing you guys around this Lamborghini Centenario. This car came out in 2016, which is crazy to think that this car is almost 10 years old with a design like this. Still looks super incredible. It is based off of the Lamborghini Aventador platform and is one of these special edition Lamborghinis that came out to kind of commemorate Ferruccio Lamborghini's 100th birthday. So this is the car to celebrate him. So obviously this is the launch spec of the car. It is pretty accurate to the real car with one huge exception, and that is the gray paint that you're seeing, which actually does look really nice. But the real car in this spec is carbon fiber, so that is one thing to note if you're looking to get this car. It's not exactly 100% spot on with the real car. Auto Art does produce a variant of this car in the exact specification of the launch one in full carbon fiber, but that's about a $300 model. Well, this one is, around a $40 model today if you're paying resale for it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at this thing in further detail, show you guys around it, show you its features and whatnot. But yeah, we'll start up here at the front. So I think the first thing that I notice on this car is kind of two things. It's the hood and then this lower kind of front bumper right here. But the hood itself, as you can see, has two huge kind of air vents, and it does have some nice kind of body lines to make this thing look extra unique. And these hood vents up here actually are finished I guess in this plastic material. I was kind of hoping they'd be carbon fiber, but they're not, unfortunately. So nothing really too crazy going on with that. Coming down here, we have the Lamborghini crest on the nose of the car, of course, and then we have these Y-shaped headlights that are pretty distinct on this car, and then I think a nice little addition to kind of make this stand out amongst a regular Aventador. Down here, kind of on the front bumper, though, I did say I really like this feature just because the kind of the accent paint, as you can see, you get these yellow lines that kind of run down vertically on this model, and then it kind of has a horizontal line that continues throughout the side of the car. But it does look really cool. And then also you'll notice down here we do have some carbon fiber with a nice little split weave right there and a bunch of dust behind it. So we'll continue throughout this model, but pretty good looking front of this car. Another thing that really stands out to me is kind of this little air vent right here. So I guess on the real car, air would come through here and then it'd shoot out the side kind of over the wheels, but it looks really nice and it is finished in carbon fiber as well. So really cool looking design, and it meshes well with these kind of 5-spoke carbon fiber blade wheels, which are very reminiscent of the Lamborghini Revington. Looks super good. As you can see, textured carbon fiber also on those wheels as well. And then we have a Lamborghini center cap right there in the center, of course. But there's one kind of huge thing, that these brake calipers and the rotors behind there aren't really too special. As you can see, they're kind of just painted silver, no drilled or slotted rotors or anything like that. So nothing really too special, but the wheels do look very cool. Moving down towards the side some more, another Lamborghini badge on the door, of course, and then some, looks like we have carbon fiber mirror caps that almost look like they're finished in body color, but it's not. It's a nice little split up right there. And then just a really aggressive side, as you can see. A lot of stuff going on, kind of have this kind of design feature on the door that leads air into these massive air vents back here. It looks like they are finished kind of just in this plastic matte black finish. Obviously door handles and whatnot. No windows on these Maisto cars, unfortunately. That's kind of safe for like the Buragos, but this one doesn't have it. So moving down towards the side, as you can see, the splitter kind of sticks out. As you can see, there's kind of a little notch right here, and then it comes up again back here towards the rear, and it's all finished in carbon fiber. Looks really, really cool. And then down here on the side, this is designated as the LP770-4, so 770 horsepower in this particular car, and it's a 4-wheel drive. So a lot of power, naturally aspirated V12 car, super epic. I think this is actually the same kind of engine that's in like the SVJ 770 horsepower, somewhere around there. So really cool. And then huge part of this car is this kind of rear diffuser back here. As you can see, it is absolutely gigantic. But one thing I noticed kind of immediately is this actually uses a different kind of carbon fiber on the rear. As you can see, it's all carbon fiber weave, but it's a different kind of texture from the side skirts. As you can see, it has this kind of gray finish to kind of match with the body color. It would have been nice to see this car actually just all in this carbon fiber material, but it is what it is. This is a cheaper model, so I wouldn't really expect them to do that, to be honest. But kind of those accent lines accentuate this rear end that is just super aggressive, super huge diffuser. Centenario license plate right there in the center, Lamborghini badge, of course, and then we have this 3-tipped kind of exhaust right there in the center with some chrome tailpipe tips. So it looks really, really good. Right here on the rear end, as you can see, I have the spoiler set up in the up position. It does move up and down, but it is kind of hard to adjust. So just be mindful of that it's not the most perfect, working, kind of spoiler right there. And that's about how much it goes up. So not really too much there. Rear engine bay, of course, does open up. And I also did forget to open up the front. So I'll show you that in a second. So we'll open this up. As you can see, it opens up pretty wide. And then we have the glorious V12 engine. A lot of carbon fiber in this engine bay. That's pretty standard for all their Lamborghini V12 models that they do, but looks really good with these strut braces running across, finished in carbon fiber. As you can see, V12 plaque with the firing order actually on there as well. So nice little detail. Lamborghini script across of the engine cover. So honestly, a lot of really good detail under here. Rear window kind of right here, and then just, plenty of carbon fiber. Honestly, a pretty good effort in that engine bay by Maisto. So up here on the deck lid itself, though, we have a kind of a split window view with some kind of holes, I guess you would say, to let some of the heat out on the real car. So it looks pretty cool. I'll go ahead and pop open the front, and we'll just do one of these. Oh, man. We'll do one of those. And really not too much to see underneath here. They just have a little bit of trunk storage and just a lot of carbon fiber around the edges. Looks pretty good actually under here. So, I guess the carbon fiber looks good. Everything else looks kind of very plasticky actually. And then we have some huge kind of, I guess, struts, you would say. On the real car, obviously, you would have some kind of hydraulic struts right here on the side. So not very accurate, but, it is nice that you have opening car. So one thing I forgot to mention is this car actually has some suspension to it, so it does move up and down a little bit. Not too much play there, and it does sound pretty plasticky up in there. So anyways, we'll take a look at this roof. So as you can see, air intake right here at the top, so a nice little cool feature. And then this kind of reminds me of the Pirelli edition of Ventadors that have this like kind of line right here, but we have the Centenario script right there at the top with the Italian flag finished right there. One thing about this color, though, it doesn't really match the accent lines perfectly. It's a bit more bright yellow as opposed to this being kind of a more obviously gloss yellow right here, and this is a matte finish, so looks okay, but it's not amazing. Matte black roof as well, so it kind of breaks up the car a little bit, but it's not perfect in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and open up these doors. Obviously, V12 Lambo needs these nice, I guess, what are these, scissor doors? But they look really, really cool when it's open. As you can see, this is a great way to display this model with the doors open. So we'll take a look at the interior real quick, and it is kind of hard to see. Just a bunch of black plastic in there, but honestly, this interior is basically identical to the Aventador interior, which they didn't really do anything special on this particular car's interior to make it a little bit different. So Lamborghini script across the dashboard, as you can see. We have some air vents up here at the top that are very plasticky, so nothing really too special going on. On the center console, though, it looks pretty good. As you can see, I know the camera is kind of blurry, but carbon fiber on the center console, and you can see kind of all the buttons and everything. And the red one in the center is obviously the starting button for the ignition, and then we have a big center screen that's just this black kind of wrap over it. As you can see, it's kind of marbly. And it's, you know, not really held up the best over time, or I'm sure it didn't look very good brand new, to be honest. But anyways, so steering wheel, again, very plasticky, can't really see too much detail behind there, but Lamborghini badge in the center, of course. And then on the top, we do have a nice little carbon fiber dashboard on top of there as well. I did forget to mention that the doors also have a really cool design on them. As you can see, a lot of carbon fiber and a bit of stitching that's supposed to be printed on that door, but it looks pretty cool. It does wrap around the whole door card, so this is all carbon fiber, so it looks really, really nice. They didn't add anything on the door sills. I think on the real car, you'd probably get a Centenario badge right here, so you don't have that on this car, but you know, fair enough details for, I think, this price point, so not too mad at that. So a little history about this car. This was actually one of my first model cars that I've ever purchased. I think I paid like $40 for it. I just sold it actually for $40, so didn't lose any money, but didn't make any money in 4 years, but it was nice to have this in the collection. I'm aiming to go after a auto art variant of this particular model, so that's kind of why I'm letting this go, just because I want to get a little bit of a better version of it, just because I'm a huge fan of the Aventador and a big fan of the Centenario. Overall, though, I think this is a really, really nice model. And obviously this car came out in a bunch of different specs, but there's nothing like a launch spec car. I think this is the best variant to have, most historical, while the other colorways that Maisto released were a little bit more toyish. I know there's like a red, green, and blue one, and then a white one. But for me, this is the one to have. If you're going to pick up one of these models, I highly recommend you trying to go after the launch spec of this particular car, because it is, I think, one of the better specs out there for this particular model. Overall, though, rating for this particular car, I would have to give it probably a solid, maybe 6.5 or 7 out of 10, just because, you know, like I said, it's not accurate to the real car with this gray paint instead of it being full carbon fiber. I don't really like the kind of different colors that they use against, you know, the yellow up at the top, yellow at the side. And honestly, the interior details just a little bit lacking for me, but, you know, for the price, I'm not really expecting it to be very good. You know, brand new, this thing was probably like 16 bucks, so don't expect auto art levels of quality here, but it is, I have to rate it for what it is, like detail oriented, but you got to consider the price into that as well. So I think that does make this a very good model, and one that I've had for a long time in my collection, and I'm sad to see it go, but you know, we're going to move on to bigger and better things. So happy for the new owner for picking this thing up, and I'd be happy to see any of you guys pick one of these up, because this is a pretty epic model. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, and if you're not already, drop a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me, you know, get the kind of you know, will to keep this channel moving forward. So I appreciate it, and y'all take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.